Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here on such short notice to talk about this very important issue. We have three speakers who are going to be speaking to you all today. We'll be glad to take some questions at the end of that as well, so please keep that in mind. We have Chancellor Rebecca Blank. We have Jake Baggett, the Associate Vice Chancellor and Executive Director of University Health Services. And we have Laurent Heller, the Vice Chancellor for Finance and Administration. And we're going to start with Chancellor Rebecca Blank.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you all for coming today. As COVID-19 continues to spread, our first priority is the health and the safety of our students, our faculty, and our staff. It has become clear that now is the time for the university to take broader action. Earlier today, I announced that we were suspending face-to-face instruction starting March 23rd, when students would typically return to classes following spring break. This will be in place until at least April 10th, and we will reevaluate this decision in early April. We are also directing undergraduates who live in our residence halls to return to their permanent homes, if at all possible. We are canceling events with more than 50 people, and we're canceling all university-sponsored travel through at least April 10th. We know that this decision is going to create challenges. I appreciate the work that everyone has done across campus and what everyone is going to do in order to make these changes in the near future. Jake Baggett, the Executive Director of our University Health Services, is going to explain more about the decision. Jake.
Thank you, Chancellor. So I've been in contact with local, state, and public health officials and leaders throughout this outbreak period. Our partnership is strong, our collaboration as well. We're grateful for their guidance and support through this period. We've been preparing for some time now, and as the Chancellor stated, it's apparent that we need to take additional steps at this point. The best thing that we can all do right now is to minimize our exposure to larger groups. That is what underlies the actions the university is taking at this time. Vice Chancellor Heller will share more about the campus operations going forward.
All right, thank you, Jake. Obviously, we don't take this decision lightly. We have a great team that's been hard at work. We believe we are prepared at this point to keep the university functioning and keep our community safe. Although we are changing to alternative instruction, the campus will remain open for business. Employees are still reporting to work. We have important mission elements going on every day: research, teaching, public service. And have an amazing team that I know is going to pull together and get us through this. We understand that folks will have a lot of questions. We'll do our best to answer those now, and anything that we don't have an answer for yet, we'll get back to you on that. So I guess I'll open it up for questions. Hand it back to Mark.
As Vice Chancellor Heller said, as you all can appreciate, this is a very evolving situation, so we're not going to have the answers to all your questions, but our experts here are going to do their best. So if you do have any questions, we'd be happy to help answer them for you.
What options for international students who can't go home? What options do they have?
We recognize that there are going to be a number of students who shouldn't go home or who can't go home and continue their education at a distance from where they live, or for whatever set of reasons it's not a permanent address for them to go to that is safe right now or viable. So we will continue to keep the residence halls open. We expect them to stay there, and we will make arrangements with them for that. But dealing with a residence hall with 10% occupancy is a very different situation from a disease control standpoint than a residence hall with 100% occupancy.
Do many of the students at UW Madison have coronavirus?
We have not had any positive tests at this point among any students.
While the students were in the dorm, will they still have access to food services?
Yes, they will. I say we are keeping the dorms open for exactly that reason. There may be some restricted services that will not be functioning as fully as they are, but there's certainly going to be food service and cleaning services.
When you reach April 10th, what factors will go into your decision of whether to keep classes online or whether to invite everyone back to campus?
I think the big question is what is happening in the community and in the nation in terms of the spread of coronavirus at that particular point in time. How safe is it to bring back gatherings of people? And we will be very much affected by the guidance of both the CDC at the national level and the local county health people at this level. Jake, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's a fair assessment. We're going to stay in continued contact with them and coordinate any of our responses going forward, but that consultation will be very important. And the situation is going to evolve. We're not sure exactly how far it will go, but that'll influence our decision going forward.
And it might be a little early for this, but for students who are wondering about commencement, any answer on that? Is graduation?
We are not making any decision on commencement at this point.
Are you thinking about graduation now, about the possibility of canceling?
I think in the world that we're in, we have to think about that, but as I say, we are not making any decision. I myself would very much regret having to cancel a major ceremony. It is the ceremony of the year for our students, but we do have to look at public safety, and we just have to see where we are sometime by the mid to late April.
A lot of the research labs employ students,
Yes,
undergrads.
yes.
How are these labs going to continue to function? Will they just shut down their projects indefinitely, or?
So the issue is not that we're sending all undergraduates home. Those in the residence halls, the freshmen by and large, are being asked to return to their permanent location. The majority of our students on campus obviously do not live in the residence halls. They're in apartments and other forms of housing around town. The university is still open. Our research labs will continue to operate. Our other work will continue to operate. Many of those students are working in those labs, are doing, if they're graduate students, working on their theses. That will not change at this point in time.
When you say alternate instruction, does that mean like virtual, and what happens to labs and that kind of thing?
So, what this means will depend upon the class, and we have a team of people we have put together, and every school and college is putting their own team together as well to consult with faculty about how best to do this. We have a web-based tool that will allow us to put classes online, and we're going to be working hard to get particularly our big lecture classes up and online as quickly as possible. We also have tools that allow discussions to occur among groups of 25 to 50 so that, those sorts of things can take place. There may be some classes, however, where the right response is, over these 3 weeks, we're going to send you off on independent study to do research and write a paper. Or what you need to do is these sets of readings, meet with a TA for a certain type of online discussion and do this type of homework. So it is going to vary by class. The biggest challenge is obviously the lab classes, and we're just going to have to work with the teachers and the faculty there as to what we can do and how we can best do alternative instruction in those situations.
You kind of answered this a little bit earlier, but some of the students I spoke with are very concerned. They don't know the April 10th. They say they have a lot of questions. They're thinking that classes are going to be suspended for the rest of the year. What do you have to say to those students who really aren't sure what will happen come April 10th?
Yeah. So we aren't suspending classes. We're moving to alternative delivery of classes through April 10th. We're expecting all of our students to remain active in those classes, to do their classwork, to be, in whatever form it comes at them. We are doing this for the first 3 weeks of the second half of this semester. There will be 3 more weeks in the semester of classes and then a week of finals after that. And, is there a possibility that we will suspend through the end of the semester or change to this alternative delivery? Yes, there is, but the right answer is we don't know enough right now. There's enough fog about what's happening here locally in the area and what's happening across the nation that we think it's wise to make a second round decision in early April. And I wish I could answer it more definitively, but
Students are also wondering
Yeah.
why not now and why wait March 23rd?
I think the answer is if indeed we find that there are no more cases in Madison, that there's, little evidence of spread in this area, the likelihood that at that point we would reopen the university to normal operations is quite high. But we simply have to see where we are.
What about faculty and staff? Are any of them being tested right now?
I don't know the answer to that. There's some tests, and I just don't know the Department of Health does not share that information with us.
How is this going to affect your
Yeah.
accreditation if you are delivering classes in a way that you're not approved?
We've talked to our accreditors, and of course, the accreditors are dealing with this in every university. I might note that at least 6 other Big Ten universities have taken similar steps. So, this is something that everybody is working on, and I think we're, in good consultation with the accreditors, we're going to be fine on that front.
Has the university had to move to faceless instruction before?
I know of no example where we've taken this type of a step. And I might say, up until 10 years ago, I don't think it would have been possible to think about alternative delivery methods because we didn't have the technologies available. As you probably know, we are doing increasing amounts of online instruction in the summer for professional master's programs, where we just released a press release this morning about our first online undergraduate degree. And all of that, to be honest, has given us some of the technologies and tools and knowledge that makes this particular short-term migration to alternative instruction much more feasible than it would have been even 2 and 3 years ago.
What about students who don't have access to internet or have laptops, personal stuff?
So students who do not have that access, I would categorize, if they're freshmen, right, as students who probably will need to stay in the dorms and need to stay on campus. And we will be very, there's a number of reasons why students may not be able to go home. If you live in northern Wisconsin, you don't have access to streaming video and web services. And that may be a group of students that is going to have to stay here in town.
You said that jobs will remain. Does that include work-study jobs for students who use that for tuition reimbursement?
Yes, again, the university is open. Regular business will be conducted. Yeah.
What about athletics and travel with the university ban on travel? I mean, is that going to affect men's basketball, women's softball, all the other track? And how is that going to, are you just not going to play the Big Ten tournament or the NCAA tournament for basketball?
So we're working through a number of things on athletic events, and I cannot give you full answers to all of that. Our athletic teams will be guided by any NCAA or Big Ten guidance that comes out. At this point, that guidance does not yet exist, but we will follow that guidance if it does come out. I can tell you that Saturdays, as of this date, the NCAA Regional Women's Hockey game on Saturday will almost surely be played in LeBon Auditorium, or LeBon Arena, unless something else happens. But there will almost surely be some form of limited audience attendance at that event. The men's basketball team has already gone to Indianapolis, and they will be following whatever rules are established for that.
Be allowed to travel to their first NCAA regional.
I am expecting the NCAA to post guidance, and we will follow that guidance at that point.
What about students
Yeah.
voting in the election? What sort of guidance do you have for them with that?
I would hope that any of our students will be involved in their civic duty of voting, and the majority of students, I do think, are still going to be here on campus and in the city and able to vote as they normally would. We will certainly work with any students. I would guess most students in the residence hall might have maintained permanent addresses back at their permanent location, and are likely to be voting from there. But that's something that we will work through with them. And of course, we will certainly provide information on absentee ballots for anyone for whom that's needed if they're not here and want to and need to vote here.
Are you able to speak to if the basketball tournament at the Kohl Center next week will still be held?
The WIA.
The WIA, you mean the high school tournament?
Yeah.
We're in conversations with the WIA about exactly how we handle that event, and I don't have an answer for that right now.
Will the men's basketball team be quarantined or tested for coronavirus when they return from Indianapolis?
We simply don't have an answer to some of those. We're going to be meeting with athletics and making a number of those decisions in the near future.
Got time for about 1 or 2 more questions. We'll wrap it up after that.
Will students who aren't coming back to the residence halls, will they still pay their full room and board for the semester?
We're working out the financial implications of this, and I would expect, I would expect that there's going to be some compensation for people who are not in the residence hall for the full year.
What about federal work-study students in those programs?
Work study will be continuing. That's part of, they would be involved with the activities of departments and of other units on campus.
I think we'll end it there. Thank you
Yeah.
all so much for your time today. As you can imagine, our folks have lots of work still left to do, and we'll keep you updated on the website that we've established, which is covid19.wisc.edu. covid19.wisc.edu. That'll have the latest information about what's happening here on campus and related to COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.